And yeah, is he just going to go right from each coach, or do we want to come? We're not coming back on, right? He's just going to talk about each coach. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's try it again. Or
Hey, Hawk fans, visit a selection of fan gear. New items and new vendors arriving.
today we're in Philadelphia. Coming up inside Hagan Arena, the Davidson Wildcats are in town. 5-2 in conference play in their first year in the Atlantic 10. Some deadly shooters, they've been knocking them down from the outside. Today, they'll try to shut down the Player of the Year candidate and DeAndre Bembry and St. Joe's, the defending Atlantic 10 tournament champions. Welcome to NBCSN College Basketball this afternoon. Davidson and St. Joe's set to do battle here from Philadelphia. Before the game, St. Joe's head coach Phil Martelli addressed his team.
During this game, you'll be asked to act like a champion. Won't go your way. What will your body tell everybody else? What will your face tell everybody else? It should, because of your character, tell everybody else, I'm a champion. I got this. I got this.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Nice to have you with us. Mike Corey alongside former Pitt and UCLA head coach Ben Howland. And speaking of which, we have two of the very best coaches in the Atlantic 10 here roaming the sidelines this afternoon.
Not only that, I think they're two of the best coaches in the country. You know, Bob McKillop's done an unbelievable job at Davidson, leading this program into the A-10 from the Southern Conference. And then Phil Martelli, longtime coach, 20 years here. Tremendous job at motivating his team, as we just saw in that last piece. He's a great, great man, as well as an outstanding coach. So I'm very excited about watching these two go head-to-head.
Also in action today, the Today we're in Philadelphia. Coming up inside Hagan Arena, the Davidson Wildcats are in town. 5-2 in conference play in their first year in the Atlantic 10. Some deadly shooters, they've been knocking them down from the outside. Today, they'll try to shut down the Player of the Year candidate and DeAndre Bembry and St. Joe's, the defending Atlantic 10 tournament champions. Welcome to NBCSN College Basketball. Should be a good one here today from Philadelphia. Davidson and St. Joe's before the game. St. Joe's head coach Phil Martelli addresses his team.
During this game, you'll be asked to act like a champion. Won't go your way. What will your body tell everybody else? What will your face tell everybody else? It should, because of your character, tell everybody else, I'm a champion. I got this. I got this.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Mike Corey alongside former Pitt and UCLA head coach Ben Howland. And, well, Coach, we just saw one of them right there. We've got Bob McKillop on the other sideline, two of the very best in the Atlantic 10 here today.
No question. Bob McKillop's one of the best coaches in the country And I think he's done a tremendous job at leading this team offensively to the top in every category in the A-10 right now. 26 years at the institution, has his name on the court. That's the ultimate honor for a coach. And then Phil Martelli, 20 years at St. Joe's, also done a tremendous job. He is really, really good man and good person. I think he does so much for his team in terms of teaching them the right way, not only of how to play, but how to be a man on and off the floor. And it was a great example there when you heard his talking to his team. Great coaches at both sides.
Well, also today, the Co-Atlantic 10 Players of the Week in action. First for Davidson, Tyler Kalinowski.
Love Kalinowski. His ability to shoot the ball. He has great range on his jumper. He's an outstanding three-point shooter who can also take it to the basket. He gets to the line. And I love the fact that he's averaging almost 6 rebounds a game on the year. Very, very strong, tough player. And then Pembry on the other end, the Atlantic 10 Co-Rookie of the Year last year. The second leading scorer in the conference, can really stroke the ball from the perimeter. He drives it. He leads them in everything. He leads in steals, rebounds, assists, scoring. One of the best players in the country.
Well, here we are in the final day of January, and when we come back from this timeout, Coach will give you his Atlantic 10 monthly report and see where we're at as we get ready for Davidson and St. Joe's today on NBCSN. Back in Philadelphia this afternoon for this Atlantic 10 Conference matchup, Davidson and St. Joe's. Only one team remaining undefeated in conference play right now. That's VCU. They're
Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your masks and stand. Join our student athletes and coaches as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Please welcome today's singers, Mary and Percy Academy Chorale, conducted by Mrs. Jen Creed Rigo.
back in Philadelphia this afternoon for this Atlantic 10 Conference matchup, Davidson and St. Joe's. Only one team remaining undefeated in conference play right now. That's VCU. They're at home later today versus Richmond. Davidson just one game out of second place in their first year in the Atlantic 10 Conference. 1 month in the books here. Final day of January. All right, Coach, our A10 monthly report. Most surprising, first off.
It has to be Davidson. They were picked for 12th coming into the league. They've done an unbelievable job moving from the Southern Conference up to the A10. Much better competition, and they've done it like they've been in the league for the last 10 years.
All right, how about most versatile?
For me, it's DeAndre Bembry. We're going to get the chance to enjoy watching him play today from St. Joe's. He does everything. He leads in scoring, rebounding, assists, steals. He can do it all, and so it's exciting to watch him play.
All right, how about your thoughts on the front runner for Coach of the Year?
No question, it's Coach McKillop, Bob McKillop right here from Davidson. What he's been able to do, moving his team into a much tougher conference in the A10, and he is by far one of the best coaches, not only in this league, but in the country over the course of time.
All right, finally, how about Player of the Year? Who do you have?
I have Travion Graham from VCU. I think he does so many things with his leadership, his ability to score the ball. They're the best team in the conference, and as a coach, I think normally you want to reward the best player from the best team.
Well, they are undefeated, 7-0. We'll see if that continues later today. We've got Davidson at St. Joe's here this afternoon to get the day started in Philadelphia. Can the Hawks pull off a huge upset here at home? We'll find out. We'll be back. Starting lineups, opening tip from Philadelphia next on NBCSN.
Hello. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, it's fine. You okay with that?
And now, let's meet the starters for your St. And forward, a 6'7" junior from Baltimore.
Philadelphia, cold one here today. Final day of the month as we approach February. We get set for this Atlantic 10 Conference matchup here today. Davidson and St. Joe's. Looking forward to it. Starting five for the Davidson Wildcats, Peyton Aldridge, one of the freshmen, one of the 5 players averaging double figures in scoring for them this season. And for St. Joe's, first time there's a different starting lineup this season. Aaron Brown, the junior, gets the start in place of the freshman James Demery today for the Hawks. Time now for our Synergy Sports stat of the game. Here we go, Coach.
When you look at Davidson right now, they're incredible in terms of their points per possession. Number 6 overall in the NCAA, 1.03 points, and number 1 overall in the A10. They're an outstanding offensive team. Just really, really good at every category. Free throw shooting, 3-point percentage, assists per game. You know, they're 3rd in the country in 3-pointers made per game. They do it all on the offensive end, so it's going to be a real challenge today for St. Joe's to control the tempo. St. Joe's needs this game to be in the 60s and not in the 80s where Davidson averages 81 a game.
7th longest tenured coach in the country there, Bob McKillop, who you just talked about a little while ago, and Phil Martelli, a 4-time Atlantic 10 Coach of the Year, 30th year overall at St. Joe's, was an assistant for 10 years prior to becoming the head coach here, and has 370 wins to his credit. And like you said about the points, we had talked to him earlier this week, Phil Martelli. He said that going into each game, you have to figure out what you need to do specifically to win. Saying that we need to hold Davidson to under X, he says that doesn't mean anything, because they scored, and they held their opponents actually to under 50 points in the last game, and they lost.
Yeah, they were up 15. They were up big against LaSalle. At LaSalle, had a really good lead with about 3 minutes to go in the first half, and ended up losing a close game at the end.
Anthony Franklin, Eric Anderson, and Mike McCloskey are officials here today. They lost that last game that Wasada talked about 53-48. So they had scored just under 50 points in the ball game. They need to put some more points on the board. We'll see if they can do it here this afternoon. Driving down the lane. And picked up by Davidson. Barham after the Isaiah Miles miss. Davidson, a team that likes to score, and they shoot the three-pointer very well.
I love the fact that Kalinowski and Bembry are matched up on one another at both ends of the floor. Two of the best players in the league going at each other. It'll be good.
Here's Brian Sullivan. They try to get it down inside to Ekwu.
Very good ball movement. They move the ball from side to side. They really get the ball inside and back out again. Excellent offense. And Barham is a strong player around the basket, really good at attacking the rim.
Well, you saw it there, Ben, after the block by Javon Bauman. Still, he stuck with it, able to get the first two of the game today. Here's Aaron Brown getting the start today. Same starting lineup for the first 19 games of the season for St. Joe's. And then Brown pulls up and hits. Transfer out of West Virginia, just 2 points in the last game, and has his first basket here today.
One thing I love about Davis, they set really good screens. As you watch the game today, you're going to see very good screens where they really hit their man. Physical.
Ekwu misfires in the jumper. Barham trying to get in there for the offensive rebound. Here's Wilson. St. Joe's 8-11 overall this season, 2-5 in the Atlantic 10. Traveling violation on Chris Wilson. They've had 7 losses this year, Coach, by 5 points or less.
You can see Brown right here in the starting lineup for the first time. He's a lefty, real nice shot, but with good patience offensively. That's what St. Joe's is going to have to do today. When they have the ball on offense, they've got to take their time, probe the defense, and really be patient. You can see how hard Davidson cuts. They cut really hard. They sprint to their screens, and everybody can shoot.
Here's Bembry, look out. And a rejection coming back on defense. An offensive foul is called. Ekwu coming back strong for Davidson as players hit the deck.
I'll tell you what, he was a little bit out of control here trying to pull the Euro move. That's a good call. Kalinowski is tough. He was right there.
Look at Ekwu there, number 1. He comes up and he lands over the top of Bembry and has just gotten up now from the floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the drum cannot be used during the course of play. The drum cannot be used during the course of play. Thank you.
Ekwu, out of Cardinal Hayes in the Bronx. Coach played in the same area growing up, Coach McKillop. Ekwu's from Nigeria, and now turnover the other way here right off the bat. So
that was made tough because the inbounder couldn't run the baseline, so it was very difficult for him to get in because he was not able, just like in this situation, where you can't run the baseline. It's good to pressure that ball hard. That was a good forced turnover by St. Joe's D.
Bembry gets a screen from Miles. Out of bounds off of Mickelson. Now a 3 from Wilson.
He should have taken the first shot. He was wide open right away, and then he bounced it once. He's got to shoot the ball on the initial catch.
Brian Sullivan strong to the hole. Gets the floater, doesn't go. Rebound pulled home by Bauman.
You know, Wilson last year shot almost 35% from 3. This year he's down to 26%. He started all last year on their A-10 championship team. So, you know, you've got to have confidence in your shot. When you look at the offensive comparison, you see a big point per game differential, almost 20. And anybody who's compared against Davidson is going to come up short when it comes to offensive stats.
Foul was on Andrew McCullough. That's his first for Davidson. First team foul.
There you go. Shoots it right away.
And it's been tough sledding for St. Joe's this season shooting the ball. Their percentage coming in is at 40.4%, second to last in the Atlantic 10 this season. There's a three on the way, counted for Tyler Kalinowski, who we talked about in the pregame.
The wide open, he faded on the screen. The defender should be trailing and going right with the body, in my opinion.
Miles missing the three, rebound by McCullough. Once again, Kalinowski, front rim this time. Coming up on 4 minutes played so far here in the first half. Davidson by 3. St. Joe seems like they're settling for a little bit of the outside shot here early, Coach.
Yeah, it's tough. They don't have a great inside threat. You know, Bauman's only averaging about 4 points a game, so he's not a big threat inside.
And I say by Bauman.
That's perfect. That's what he does best, second shots, and that's big. They need to get him going to get an inside presence.
Sullivan comes off a screen, thought about the three. Good recovery there by Pembry. Davidson 2 of 7 so far from the field here in this first half to get started, and we get a hand check foul on Chris Wilson, and it takes us to a timeout.
Here's an excellent use of a screen right here by Kalinowski. He's wide open. He's not going to miss wide open threes. And then at the other end here, you can see a great follow by Bauman right here, stuffing the ball back in.
Okay. It's the New York Post.
Conference selection for football and baseball at University. Football coach at West Catholic and Edward W. Bach High School, and current NCAA basketball referee and inspirational speaker. Tom receives his award recognizing a lifetime of service as a true champion for children and young adults. Let's give a nice round of applause for both Jim Murray and Tom T. Feliz. Thank you, gentlemen.
Davidson on top by a point here in the early going in Philadelphia, a team that was picked 12th in the Atlantic 10 in their first season, right now in 5th place. And head coach Bob McKillop in an article in the New York Post this week featuring what he has done now in his 26th season here at Davidson.
He's done a tremendous job, and it's always tough when you make the jump from a smaller conference to a bigger conference. And you can see they're 5-2 right now in the A10, so they're in a good position here to vie for a league championship in their first year in the conference. And it's incredible to be at some school for 26 years, the 7th longest tenure of any coach in the country. And it's wonderful for him and his family to be able to stay in one place and be able to put their roots down and have his name on the court.
Oh, he says there, you have to commit to it. If you look at this job, as a place to move up the ladder, you're not going to succeed. And that's the thing. He certainly built this place to where it is here today. The support from the administration, the president, he said, has been great. All three children went to Davidson. He lives across the street from the practice facility. He can just walk over there every day. Good setup, right?
It sounds like a great setup.
The second foul was just called on DeAndre Bembry for St. Joe's. Their top player. Will keep an eye on it. Number 43. He stays in the game. Three-pointer, Kalinowski, yes, he hits it again. Tyler Kalinowski shooting 43% from the three-point line, and has put Davidson on top 8-4.
In that situation, you've got to be able to force him to dribble it. You can't let him shoot the ball. You've got to be up into him so tight he has to bounce it. Make Kalinowski dribble to a shot.
Bembry.
Very good pass. Very good read by Bembry. Good roll by Bauman, but an excellent pass.
How about with Davidson on the offensive end, Coach? 5 players average double figures in scoring. Who do you key on, really?
That's what's great about it is you can't key on any one person. They have great balance, and anybody of those five can go off for 20 at a given night.
Bembry stays in for St. Joe's. Brown goes out.
I think this foul right here, he had his arm out. That's what happens. You can't use your forearm when he's moving the ball. Right when he's doing right there, that's an easy call for the official.
Miles back in for Brown, and Brendan Casper comes in for Javon Bauman for St. Joe's here. Nice spin move by Barham. Count the basket. Chance for the three-point play.
That play that they just ran right there, we saw on film yesterday in the St. Joe. So it was really nice. Coach Martelli allowed us to come in, and they showed this play. This is an isolation play set up just for him, and he did the same exact move in their last game against George Mason.
That was Casper putting the hand in there, getting called for the foul, his first, and it's 11-6 now. Davidson after Barham connects on a free throw.
This is an important possession here. They can't let this thing start to get away from them. 5-point deficit right now. Need to get a good shot right here.
Blocking foul called on Davidson's Jordan Watkins. That's his first. The thing with St. Joe's, Ben, is that outside of DeAndre Bembry, there really hasn't been another kind of go-to guy or anybody else has kind of stepped up confidence-wise to say, sure, I'll take that shot or I'll create the scoring.
Well, Miles has done that in standpoint. He's the other player in double figures for him, but he's 0 for 3 so far early in this game. They need him to get it going.
Watkins on the pass out to Mickelson in the corner, doesn't go. Bembry running the break and knocked away.
Yeah, just not a good pass. He didn't put enough on it. He's got to make that probably an air pass rather than a bounce pass there.
Chris Wilson checks in, and it'll be Shavar Newkirk that takes a seat for the Hawks.
One thing that's amazing about Bembry, he's playing 37.7 minutes a game. He's really a workhorse to be able to play without coming out much, and that's impressive.
That's 7th in the country, 1st in the Atlantic 10. Now Bembry trying to post up. Instead it goes up top. Demery shot off the mark. Rebound Barham. Not a strong move here, and this is Kalinowski, and just off. Rebound by Miles. St. Joe's a different team here at home. 6-3 here at Hagan Arena. Just 2-7 away from town. Three-pointer on the way. Count it for Brown. Aaron Brown connects.
And they're forcing Bembry to pass, and that's a nice pass back out for the easy shot, the wide open shot.
The sixth man for St. Joe's, who got the start today, closes the gap to 2.
And he has 5 points now, so maybe he's that guy that's going to step up for St. Joe's. Be that third scorer that they need.
Barham. Rejected by Miles. Try to get it back. Here's Wilson. Chris Wilson, offensive foul. The second charge taken today by Davidson. Wilson picks up his second.
Really good job right there to get in front, Watkins. Nice job to beat him to the spot, be outside the circle, and really, really good to give his body up for his team.
That's what you have to like about Davidson. What they do, Coach, putting the attention to the details. That was key number one by Bob McKillop this week to us. Make the shots, but also be efficient on all the other things they do. The efficiency on screens, cuts, details. I'll add taking charges to that list.
And you think they're without Jack Gibbs, actually their starting point guard, who's a very good player and just a sophomore. Gibbs hurt himself. They expect him hopefully to be back here in the next couple of weeks. And here's a kid that, when you add him to the team they have here on the floor right now, boy, are they hard to defend because everybody can shoot it.
The foul was on Barham, his first for Davidson. Yeah, Gibbs will be back in a couple of weeks. It's amazing what they've been able to do without him, though, and that's the thing. So many different players able to step up. Nice rejection by Barham off the Brown shot. Stays with St. Joe's when we come back.
This is a big-time block right here. And a nice drive by Brown where he shuffled his feet. Barham recovers and goes up and slaps it off the glass. Great block.
Coming up next, Michigan. St. Joe's, last year's Atlantic 10 tournament champions, their first since 1997.
Yeah, that's great, too. I mean, really a big-time win. You consider the league had 6 teams in the tournament last year. That's an outstanding championship for this program. I know Phil is so proud of that team, and you have Langston Galloway now playing for the New York Knicks that played here a year ago. Really did a tremendous job, and it's just wonderful to see the celebration and see Coach crying. He's so happy and so proud. And people probably don't remember this, but they lost to UConn in overtime in the NCAA tournament and had a chance to win that game at the end of regulation. That would have changed the national championship.
Exactly. Lost to the eventual national champions, the third conference title, the second under Coach Phil Martelli. They were also in the championship game in 2005, 2006, and 2008.
That's a very nice out-of-bounds play there where he's just using his size. Bembry, they throw it right over the head of the defender.
Bembry ties it up here at 11. Peyton Aldridge, freshman, runs out of room. And it's off of Wilson out of bounds.
I've been really impressed with St. Joe's defense. You know, start the game here, Davidson's 4 for 13 from the field. So you have to credit the defense, and that's what's going to give them a chance to win this game. They can defend. And they're outboarding their opponent.
Look at this. Barham comes storming in for the dunk.
Boy, do they have a lot of good out-of-bounds plays. They're so hard to prepare for because they've got so many of them, and Davidson really executes their offense to perfection with good screens and good cuts.
He's the guy that's added some more minutes and time for Gibbs, who's out. And look at this, gets the rebound. So 9 minutes in, 2-point ball game. Davidson liking to run, and they pull up and hit it. Jordan Watkins, the other freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. Wild runner by Demery, and he comes right back for the Hawks.
Very fortunate there that thing went in, but good for him. They're not going to allow Bembry to post up in this game. Every time he gets the ball in the post, he's being double-teamed. They're forcing him to pass it out and make someone else to score.
Barham gets right inside of Miles.
Well, he's off to a great start with 8 points now. He's really going to work, Barham.
Talking with Coach McKillop earlier this week, and talked about Barham saying that he played in kind of a low-level competition in high school, came here as a freshman at age 17. As St. Joe's Bembry again, and knocks down a 3-ball. It's a 1-point game.
I think Bembry's a little hesitant to defend in the post because he can't get a second foul here. So they made a good switch there, right there, and put Brown on Barham there. And he's more aggressive defensively. He's not as worried about fouling.
Brown kind of knocked away. Good job by Aldridge on the ground. Gets it to Watkins.
Love the hustle, diving on the floor for the ball. That's what it's all about.
Bembry has the last 7 points for St. Joe's. Not anymore as Miles hits a 3.
And he needed that. He was 0 for 3 early in this game. Maybe that'll get him started. I feel really confident that St. Joe's is shooting the ball well today. I mean, you got to look at them, and this is the best they've shot the ball in a while.
And a steal, Wilson.
Timeout on the score here, I would think. You look at Bembry right here. It's being guarded. You can't let him just pull up. Pulls up right in the face. Very good high arcing shot. Excellent. And then here you see a really good 3 here to get Miles going from the perimeter. I really like Miles. You know, he's a kid who's long, athletic, skilled. He averages in double figures. They need him. It looks like Aaron Brown is really taking advantage of this start today and may solidify his starting spot the way he's playing. He's playing both ends of the floor.
There's Mickelson back in, the freshman for Davidson. The foul was on Brian Sullivan, his first. Here's Chris Wilson. It was the day before the Fordham game, a little while back on January 14th, that Phil Martelli said to Chris, who's the lone senior, really one of 2 seniors actually, that said, if we're going to turn it around, it starts with you. And then he comes out in that game, has a career-high 23 points. One of the co-captains with DeAndre Bembry. And now here they are up by 3 as we come up with a 9-minute mark to go first half.
And he's also the point guard. You want your leader, ideally, to be your point guard. He's the man that has the ball that makes the decisions.
Former high school quarterback as well. Here's a foul on the baseline as Sullivan got trapped.
The defense by St. Joe's has been very aggressive, though. They're really getting after it. They're really being tough. Now, look for another really good execution play here on the out-of-bounds play.
They call the foul on Demery, his first. There's Aldridge for 3, way off.
Well, I'm really surprised by that. I mean, he is a very good three-point shooter, over 40% from 3 on the season, so that's shocking to see him shoot an air ball. One thing about Davidson, they have very good young players. And you look at Aldridge right now and Mickelson, they're just freshmen. Very good shooting team, but they play a lot of good freshmen. Watkins is just a freshman. They have a lot of young, good players.
Brown off the mark, rebound by Ekwu, and Davidson, a team that scores 81.9 points a game. That's 7th in the country, folks, at first in the Atlantic 10. They've been held in check so far here early in this one.
And credit the defense of St. Joe's. You know, they really worked hard in their preparation. We were invited in to watch their film session with the team after practice yesterday. It was really good.
Tough spot there as Aldridge, after it was trying to get saved from going out by St. Joe's, cleans it up. Bembry playing with the 2 personal fouls. Brown, too strong, rebound Kalinowski. Atlantic 10 co-player of the week with Bembry. We talked about at the start of the broadcast. Their leading scorer, but not their only scorer, that's for sure.
I don't know about that call. I'm not sure that was the right call.
I was going to say, the crowd agrees with the coach. We'll find out if it stays Davidson ball when we come back. They're down by 1.
Get set and go!
Okay, we're going to look at this play, the last play going into this timeout. In my view, it's definitely a turnover. He jumps in the air to pass, which is the cardinal sin, and throws the ball out of bounds. So Phil Martelli had every right to be upset with that call, but officials make mistakes. As coaches, we know they're going to make some mistakes. You definitely don't want to make it in the last 2 minutes of a game, but I'll even try to let the official know, because it's a tough play, but it's definitely out on Davidson.
He thought it might have went off of Bembry there, but did not get the call. Now, you can discuss it. The officials can kind of overrule each other, but they cannot go to the monitor until under 2 minutes to review a play that goes out of bounds like that was possibly touched by both teams. So they could have done that if it was under 2 minutes. You can't do that here. You can just kind of talk with each other, maybe get overruled, but that was not the case. So Davidson ball here, down by 1.
You know, most officials would just tell you, hey, I blew that one, you know, I made a mistake. And when they tell you that, it makes you feel better as a coach.
Sullivan for 3, connects. Brian Sullivan, one of the captains for Davidson.
He is a very good shooter. This kid can really shoot the ball with range.
17 points in the last game, played 42 of the 45 minutes as they went to overtime. And Newkirk hits for St. Joe's, tied at 22.
That's a big shot for Newkirk, because he has not shot the ball well this year, and so to get a little confidence is nice.
Spinning hook by McAuliffe, a little bit short.
The tempo of this game definitely is favoring St. Joe's right now. As I say that, they jack up a quick 3. They need to have the tempo on their side, be patient. They want the score to be, again, in the 60s, not in the 80s, and it's headed that way right now.
Nice job by Davidson. They always get their hands into the passing lanes. They've had a lot of deflection so far here, and we've got a traveling violation on Isaiah Myers.
Yeah, they just need to slow down, be patient and slow down, let the game come to them.
6 turnovers by the Hawks so far here in this first half. Crowd here at St. Joe's furious at many of the calls, as you would be as a hometown team. And now McAuliffe getting the feed from Sullivan. He got rejected by Bauman. It stays with the Wildcats.
A very good pass by Sullivan.
Kalinowski's already hit a couple of 3-pointers here today. Sullivan from deep, and Brian Sullivan does it again. Way outside that time.
Yeah, that's about 26 feet out, so you better be up on him and make him dribble to a shot.
Leading the Atlantic 10, shooting the 3-pointer at 39.5% coming in, 25th in the country. The Wildcats shooting from deep. They're back on top. Bembry in the step back.
Yeah, that's a bad shot. He's got to let the game come to him. They need to set better screens for him, but they don't need that shot right now. They're right with him.
Sullivan had the hot hand, but he passes it up, and instead it's Aldridge draining a 3. That's what we've talked about. So many different players can hurt you from the outside.
Yeah, they're averaging almost 11, just under 11 3-pointers as a team per game. Aldridge is a very good shooter, like 43% from the 3-point line. That's why it's so shocking to see him shoot an air ball earlier in this game.
That's Davidson now 5 of 10 from 3-point range and a pair of blocks. They'll call it jump. And it was the combination of Mickelson and McAuliffe down low for Davidson.
And this is 3 right here. You can see how far behind the line he is. He's shooting it deep, has great follow through, leaves his hand up on a shot. Picture perfect. And here's another easy shot. I love how they leave their hand up. It's textbook shooting.
Well, earlier today we showed you the Synergy Sports stat of the game, and that was the points per possession by Davidson. They were scoring just over 1 point per possession. You're thinking, well, that doesn't sound like a lot. Well, that's 6th in the country. You talk about every possession averaging at least getting a point. That's because they hit so many threes. We saw the stat for threes per game, over 10. St. Joe's running. Wilson, Bembry. Again, another quick shot on the offensive end.
Yeah, but that's not a bad shot. He's wide open. He went up and down straight. The one that I had said the last shot he'd taken was off balance, falling away from the basket, and probably ill-timed. I'm telling you, you better get out on Aldridge if you're Bauman. He's not even out guarding him. And Aldridge is going to be wide open for a 3 here. It's going to come to him. I can't believe he's not out on him further. It's just wide open.
Well, there you go. You just called it, Coach, and he does it.
You can see that coming a mile away. Got to know the scout report. But Bauman has to know that Aldridge is a very good 3-point shooter.
Coach calls it. Aldridge knocking down another 3. The freshman wide open. 31-22 Davidson.
Just happened.
Davidson by 9 points here, just under 4 minutes to go in this first half. Peyton Aldridge knocking down another 3 for the Wildcats. Davidson's last 4 baskets have been 3-pointers. As we were tied at 22. And it's been all Davidson here. Miles. Parham's had a nice first half.
You're correct about one thing, Mike. They've got to get an inside game going right now. They're not going to beat Davidson matching jump shot for jump shot. There's just no way.
Just one thing? Am I only correct about one thing today? Yeah. See if I can call a few more like you have here so far. Look at this again. It's Aldridge. Nobody got on him. And Peyton Aldridge, already a two-time Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Week selection. He's averaging double figures in scoring. He drains another three.
Yeah, this is a really another wide open shot. It's just, he's too good of a shooter to be that open. You must make him dribble to a shot.
Davidson raining three-pointers so far here in this first half, 34-22. We were tied at 22. It's a 12-0 run here by the Wildcats.
Yeah, at 7:45 left in this game, it was a St. Joe's lead. It's a 15-2 run. You see the barrage of threes that have now come. They're shooting 7 for 13 for the game from three, all with deep range. A couple of them are wide open. Aldridge in particular has had 3 threes, all of them wide open for him. You've got to make him dribble to a shot. You can't give Aldridge any room or Sullivan any room to shoot a three.
Coach Martelli said it to me yesterday. This game we need to guard with a man and a half, he said, because there's so many shooters, there's so many great players. You got to give a little bit of help over there. They got to focus on ball pressure, he said. Need to take away the easy passes. Well, they're certainly not doing that, and they're getting wide open shots.
Well, what's happening, too, is you must make them shoot shots inside the three-point line, Davidson. You can't let them shoot threes. Almost half of their attempts are threes on the season in conference play as well.
Such a backbreaker, and for a team in St. Joe's that doesn't score a lot of points, you get down big early, it could mean trouble. Here's a three from Brown.
That's big, and I'll tell you what, Aaron Brown's done a good job today shooting the ball from the perimeter.
In the last game for St. Joe's at LaSalle on Tuesday night, it was quite the opposite. They were up by 15 points at 3:12 left to go in the first half. They're up by 9 at halftime. They ended up losing the game by 5. McAuliffe trying to make it Aldridge again. And this time just off the mark. Bembry. Brown trying to force feed a pass down to Newkirk.
You know, even though Aldridge missed that last shot, he's wide open.
Coming up at the half, Super Bowl 49 preview from Arizona. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio will tell you what's going on. First half analysis here of the Davidson St. Joe's game and more, all coming up at the half right here on NBCSN. 9-point lead for the Wildcats. Wilson to Newkirk. Now the shot clock at 10. Bembry posting up. It's Newkirk for 3.
He's not who we wanted to shoot the ball if you're St. Joe's. He's not shooting high percentages here. They've got to get Bembry more touches.
Nobody picks up Kalinowski, and he heads to the rack for an easy 2. Miles looking down low, had a wide open Brown for a second, didn't see him. Wilson for 3 in the feed from Bembry, and that's off. And a lot more red jerseys down low in the rebounding department here so far in this first half for Davidson. Sullivan.
Nice pass by Bembry.
Bembry has 7 rebounds in this game on the kick out, and way off. Newkirk.
Yep, they're making it tough on Bembry. Every time he catches the ball in the low post, they double him and say, we're going to let anybody else shoot but Bembry. And right now, that's working.
Quick 3 here, Mickelson. And Bembry's 8th rebound of this first half. Under a minute to go. Bembry strong to the hole for 2.
They really needed that. Every time I see Mickelson, I think of Hano Matola, the great player that played for the Utah Utes. For Rick Majerus, was probably the best player to come out of Finland in the last 20 years.
Bembry has 7 points. Tries to get the block on Kalinowski. Nice recovery. And Tyler Kalinowski falling down for 2.
Yeah, very tough. Just a tough, hard-nosed guy. Stays with the play. He is a very good competitor. Really love his game.
Kalinowski with 10 points. Second player in double figures in scoring for Davidson, and Newkirk gets crushed.
You can see Kalinowski right here get out on the fast break, really get ahead, pushes the ball. Easy play for him too. You got to stop the ball in transition. You can't let him push the ball and go coast to coast.
Here's Shavar Newkirk out of the Bronx, coming off the bench in all the previous games for St. Joe's, including this one here today. Second on the team in assists, as Bembry will take a seat, and in comes Evan Nashmeyer. And for the final 6.7 seconds. Bembry, good job to play through those 2 personal fouls that he got very early in this first half, man.
Yeah, and it was tough for him defensively to keep his hands in the cookie jar there. And smart move to take him out for his last 6.7 seconds and not get his 3rd. Good move by Coach Martelli.
Sullivan, here he comes. Sullivan kicks it back. Aldridge, he's been on fire. Does it again at the buzzer. Peyton Aldridge, another 3. That's his 4th of the first half.
In that kind of situation right there, that's probably a smart play to just switch. There's only 6.7 seconds left. So it should have just been a switch between the screener's man and the ball handler. And a very